Code 314.29 of the National Electrical Code has been in place for many years and aims to ensure the safety and accessibility of electrical devices. Historically, fires and accidents have occurred due to inaccessible junction boxes, making it difficult for firefighters and technicians to reach and extinguish electrical hazards. Junction boxes contain electrical connections that require regular maintenance, inspection, and troubleshooting. Sheeting them over would create a barrier, preventing access to critical components. The electrical devices generate heat, which needs to be dissipated to prevent overheating and potential fire hazards. Junction boxes allow air circulation around these devices, which would be restricted if they were covered. In the event of an electrical emergency such as an electrical fire, it is crucial that firefighters and emergency responders have immediate access to junction boxes to isolate power and make repairs. While it is not permissible to sheetrock over junction boxes, there are several alternatives that can provide a more finished look. Firstly, you can install recessed light fixtures that fit over the junction boxes, providing illumination while maintaining accessibility. Secondly, use paintable electrical box covers that match the ceiling color, blending the boxes seamlessly and creating a more cohesive appearance. Thirdly, install decorative moldings or trim around the junction boxes, creating a framed effect and drawing attention away from their presence. And finally, install small access panels over the junction boxes, which can be easily removed for maintenance and troubleshooting when necessary. Let's delve into the technical aspects and code requirements related to junction boxes and their accessibility. Junction boxes serve a crucial purpose in electrical systems, acting as protective enclosures for wire connections. They provide a safe and organized space to join or terminate electrical conductors, preventing exposure to environmental factors and physical damage. Ensuring their accessibility is not merely a matter of convenience, but a fundamental safety requirement outlined in the National Electrical Code. Code 314.29 specifically addresses the accessibility of junction boxes, requiring them to be readily accessible without damaging the building structure or finish. This provision is not arbitrary. It stems from real-world scenarios where inaccessible junction boxes have led to significant problems. Imagine a situation where a faulty electrical connection within a concealed junction box causes a short circuit, leading to overheating and potentially a fire. If the junction box is buried behind drywall or other permanent finishes, valuable time is lost in locating and accessing the problem. This delay can exacerbate the situation, increasing the risk of fire spread and property damage. Moreover, inaccessible junction boxes impede routine maintenance and troubleshooting. Electrical systems, like any other mechanical system, require periodic inspection and upkeep. Connections can loosen over time due to vibration or thermal cycling, leading to increased resistance and potential overheating. Regular inspection allows technicians to identify and correct these issues before they escalate into major problems. Similarly, troubleshooting electrical faults becomes significantly more challenging when junction boxes are hidden from view. Tracing circuits and testing connections becomes a time-consuming and often destructive process, potentially damaging the building structure in the process. The code recognizes these challenges and mandates accessibility to ensure that electrical systems can be safely maintained and repaired throughout their lifespan. But what exactly does readily accessible mean in the context of Code 314.29? The code defines it as being capable of being reached quickly for operation, renewal, or inspections without requiring those to whom ready access is requisite to action, such as to use tools, to climb over or remove obstacles, or to resort to portable ladders, and so forth. In simpler terms, the junction box should be easily reachable without requiring specialized tools or equipment, or causing damage to the surrounding structure. This does not necessarily mean that the junction box must be exposed and visible at all times. As mentioned earlier, there are acceptable methods for concealing junction boxes while maintaining accessibility. One common approach is to use access panels. These are small, removable panels that are installed over the junction box, providing a discreet way to conceal it while allowing easy access when needed. Access panels can be made from various materials, such as drywall, metal, or plastic and can be painted or finished to match the surrounding ceiling or wall. Another option is to use recessed lighting fixtures that incorporate access to the junction box. These fixtures typically have a removable trim ring or housing that allows access to the wiring connections without requiring the entire fixture to be removed. This approach provides both illumination and accessibility in a single, integrated solution. Paintable electrical box covers offer a more subtle way to conceal junction boxes. These covers are designed to be painted to match the surrounding surface, allowing them to blend seamlessly into the ceiling or wall. While they do not provide the same level of accessibility as access panels or recessed fixtures, they are suitable for situations where only occasional access is required. Decorative moldings or trim can also be used to camouflage junction boxes. By installing moldings or trim around the junction box, you can create a visually appealing frame that draws attention away from the box itself. This approach is particularly effective in rooms with existing decorative elements. It is important to note that simply covering a junction box with a blank plate and painting over it is not considered an acceptable method of concealing it. While it may improve the aesthetic appearance, it does not provide adequate accessibility for maintenance and troubleshooting. In addition to ensuring accessibility, it is also important to consider the environment in which the junction box is located. In damp or wet locations, such as bathrooms or outdoor areas, junction boxes must be specifically rated for those conditions. These boxes are typically made from non-metallic materials and have gaskets or seals to prevent moisture from entering and causing corrosion or electrical hazards. Furthermore, it is crucial to ensure that all wiring connections within the junction box are properly made and secured. Loose or poorly made connections can lead to overheating, arcing, and potentially fire. Use appropriate wire connectors, such as wire nuts or terminal blocks, and ensure that they are properly tightened. Always follow the manufacturer's instructions when installing electrical components and consult with a qualified electrician if you have any doubts or questions. Remember that working with electricity can be dangerous, and it is always better to err on the side of caution. In addition to accessibility requirements, the National Electrical Code also specifies minimum dimensions for junction boxes based on the number and size of conductors they contain. This is to ensure that there is sufficient space for making connections and dissipating heat. The code provides detailed tables and formulas for calculating the minimum box size based on the specific wiring configuration. It is important to consult these resources to ensure that you are using the appropriate size junction box for your application. When installing junction boxes, it is also important to consider their location relative to other building components. Avoid installing junction boxes in areas where they are likely to be obstructed by pipes, ductwork, or other obstructions. Also, be mindful of the potential for physical damage from impacts or other sources. If the junction box is located in an area where it is susceptible to damage, consider using a more robust enclosure or providing additional protection. In summary, the accessibility of junction boxes is a critical safety requirement outlined in the National Electrical Code. It is essential to ensure that junction boxes are readily accessible for maintenance, troubleshooting, and emergency access. While it is possible to conceal junction boxes for aesthetic purposes, it is important to do so in a way that does not compromise their accessibility. Use access panels, recessed lighting fixtures, paintable covers, or decorative moldings to conceal junction boxes while maintaining compliance with code requirements. Always follow the manufacturer's instructions when installing electrical components and consult with a qualified electrician if you have any doubts or questions. By adhering to these guidelines, you can ensure the safety and reliability of your electrical system. Firstly, accessibility ensures safety by allowing quick access during emergencies such as electrical fires, enabling responders to isolate power and prevent further damage. Secondly, regular maintenance and troubleshooting become feasible with accessible junction boxes, preventing minor issues from escalating into major problems. Thirdly, code compliance is maintained by adhering to NEC 314.29, avoiding potential fines and ensuring adherence to safety standards. Fourthly, property value is preserved by maintaining a safe and not-to-code electrical system, which is crucial for home inspections and resale. Fifthly, convenience is enhanced for homeowners who can easily address minor electrical issues without damaging walls or ceilings. Sixthly, cost savings are realized through preventive maintenance, reducing the likelihood of extensive repairs caused by neglected electrical problems. Seventhly, aesthetic options are available such as recessed lighting or paintable covers, allowing homeowners to maintain a finished look while ensuring accessibility. Eighthly, professional guidance from qualified electricians ensures installations are safe, compliant, and tailored to specific needs. Ninthly, long-term reliability of the electrical system is supported by ensuring all connections are properly made and accessible for future inspections. Tenthly, peace of mind is achieved knowing the electrical system is safe, compliant, and easily manageable. Consider a scenario where a homeowner decides to ignore the accessibility requirement and covers a junction box with drywall. Months later, they notice flickering lights in a room. Unaware of the hidden junction box, they start dismantling walls and ceilings in search of the problem. This not only causes unnecessary damage but also delays the repair, potentially leading to a more severe electrical issue. In contrast, if the junction box had been accessible via an access panel, the homeowner could have quickly located the problem, identified a loose connection, and resolved the issue in minutes, preventing further damage and expense. Moreover, neglecting accessibility can have serious legal and insurance implications. If an electrical fire occurs due to a hidden and inaccessible junction box, the homeowner may face liability issues and insurance claims may be denied due to code violations. Therefore, adhering to the accessibility requirement is not only a matter of safety, but also a matter of responsible homeownership. Understanding the history and purpose of Code 314.29 provides a clear perspective on why it is essential to prioritize accessibility in electrical installations. The code is rooted in real-world experiences where inaccessible junction boxes have posed significant safety risks and hindered maintenance efforts. By following the code and implementing appropriate accessibility solutions, homeowners can ensure the safety, reliability, and longevity of their electrical systems. Another important consideration is the labeling of junction boxes. While not explicitly required in all situations, labeling junction boxes can be beneficial for future maintenance and troubleshooting. Labeling the box with the circuits it serves can help electricians quickly identify the correct wiring when making repairs or modifications. This is particularly helpful in complex electrical systems with multiple circuits and junction boxes. Labels can be created using a variety of methods, such as permanent markers, adhesive labels, or label makers. Choose a method that is durable and easy to read. The label should clearly indicate the circuit served by the junction box, as well as any other relevant information, such as the voltage or amperage rating. In addition to labeling, it is also important to maintain accurate records of the electrical system. Keep a detailed wiring diagram that shows the location of all junction boxes, circuits, and electrical devices. This diagram can be invaluable when troubleshooting electrical problems or making modifications to the system. The wiring diagram should be updated whenever changes are made to the electrical system. Store the diagram in a safe and accessible location where it can be easily retrieved when needed. Furthermore, consider using a circuit tracer to identify circuits and locate junction boxes. A circuit tracer is an electronic device that sends a signal through a wire, allowing you to trace its path and identify its termination point. This can be particularly helpful when dealing with concealed wiring or complex electrical systems. Circuit tracers are available in a variety of models, ranging from simple handheld devices to more sophisticated instruments with advanced features. Choose a circuit tracer that is appropriate for your needs and budget. When working with electricity, it is always important to follow safe work practices. Always turn off the power to the circuit before working on any electrical components. Use appropriate personal protective equipment, such as safety glasses and gloves. If you are not comfortable working with electricity, hire a qualified electrician to do the work. Remember that electricity can be dangerous, and it is always better to err on the side of caution. In addition to the alternatives for a finished ceiling appearance already discussed, consider the use of surface-mounted raceways. Surface-mounted raceways are enclosed channels that can be used to run wires along the surface of a wall or ceiling. They provide a neat and organized way to conceal wiring while maintaining accessibility. Surface-mounted raceways are available in a variety of materials such as metal, plastic, and wood. They can be painted or finished to match the surrounding surface. Raceways can be used to run wires to junction boxes, light fixtures, or other electrical devices. They are particularly useful in situations where it is difficult or impossible to run wires inside the wall or ceiling. When using surface-mounted raceways, it is important to follow the manufacturer's instructions and code requirements. The raceway must be properly supported and secured to the wall or ceiling. The wires inside the raceway must be properly insulated and protected from damage. The raceway must be properly grounded. Also, consider the use of cable trays. Cable trays are open support structures that are used to support and route cables. They are typically used in commercial and industrial applications, but can also be used in residential settings. Cable trays provide a convenient way to organize and manage cables while maintaining accessibility. Cable trays are available in a variety of materials such as metal and plastic. They can be suspended from the ceiling or mounted to the wall. When using cable trays, it is important to follow the manufacturer's instructions and code requirements. The cable tray must be properly supported and secured. The cables inside the cable tray must be properly secured and protected from damage. The cable tray must be properly grounded. Furthermore, consider the use of flexible metal conduit. Flexible metal conduit, or FMC, is a flexible metal tubing that is used to protect electrical wires. It is commonly used in situations where the wiring needs to be flexible or where it is difficult to run rigid conduit. FMC is available in a variety of sizes and materials. It can be used to run wires to junction boxes, light fixtures, or other electrical devices. When using FMC, it is important to follow the manufacturer's instructions and code requirements. The FMC must be properly supported and secured. The wires inside the FMC must be properly insulated and protected from damage. The FMC must be properly grounded. Also, be aware of the grounding requirements for junction boxes. Junction boxes must be properly grounded to prevent electrical shock hazards. The grounding conductor must be connected to the metal enclosure of the junction box and to the grounding system of the building. The grounding conductor must be sized according to the code requirement. When installing a junction box, make sure to properly connect the grounding conductor. Use appropriate grounding connectors and ensure that the connections are tight and secure. Test the grounding system to ensure that it is working properly. Moreover, consider the use of surge protection devices. Surge protection devices, or SPDs, are used to protect electrical equipment from voltage surges. Voltage surges can be caused by lightning strikes, power outages, or other electrical disturbances. SPD can help to prevent damage to sensitive electronic equipment such as computers, televisions, and appliances. SPD are available in a variety of types and sizes. They can be installed at the service entrance of the building or at individual electrical outlets. When installing an SPD, it is important to follow the manufacturer's instructions and code requirements. The SPD must be properly grounded. The SPD must be properly sized for the electrical system. Consider the use of arc fault circuit interrupters. Arc fault circuit interrupters, or of size, are used to detect and interrupt arc faults. Arc faults are dangerous electrical conditions that can cause fires. A size can help to prevent electrical fires by detecting arc faults and shutting off the power to the circuit. A size are required by code in many areas of the home, such as bedrooms and living rooms. When installing an FSI, it is important to follow the manufacturer's instructions and code requirements. The FSI must be properly wired. The FSI must be tested to ensure that it is working properly. To summarize, when dealing with junction boxes, always prioritize safety, accessibility, and code compliance. By following the guidelines and recommendations outlined, you can ensure the safety and reliability of your electrical system.